Hey there, and welcome back to GenXGrownUp. I'm George, and this is Bit by Bit. Now, folks, I had a whole episode already stacked and planned out for today, but then somebody showed me an article during our Twitch podcast edit live stream, and my whole world got turned upside down. Let's get into it. Okay, like I said, I had this episode all planned out. I was going to talk about the Atari Cosmos and a few other articles. But then, during our live stream, somebody clued me into this article. Here on PCGamer.com, Warner Brothers Discovery goes up for sale if you've got a spare $45 billion laying around. Now, why is that important to me and possibly to you, our loving Gen X audience? Well, Warner Brothers Discovery is a big conglomerate corporation, and one of the things that they own is Warner Brother Games. So you can see they've got, like here's an image of the Arkham stuff. They also own DC Comics, HBO Max, HBO. That's why we get the 45 billion. What was it? 45 billion? Yeah, I just want to make sure, in case I wanted to pay for this. $45 billion possible sale. Now, they are interested in entertaining offers on the entire company, as you might imagine, but also other potential purchases of just the different parts of Warner Brothers. So, I was like, well, that's really interesting. And this was all shown to us by one of the people who was watching on our Twitch live stream, like I said. And then John dug up this article, Warner Brothers Discovery puts itself up for sale. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but that doesn't sound good when a company puts itself up for sale. But this is just another article that is confirming what the first article was talking about, that Warner Brothers is trying to sell off our assets. Right here, you can see the shares surged on the news, rising more than 10%. Very cool. $45 billion. But again, they're interested in entertaining offers for the whole company and its parts. So what are some of its parts? Well, here's Warner Brother Games, which is a division of the Warner Brothers company on whole. And this was the part that really piqued my interest, because the person who mentioned this to us, and forgive me, I cannot remember who it was that said this in the Twitch live stream, but part of the assets of Warner Brother Games, will go down here to other assets, Midway Games, Bally Manufacturing, Williams Electronics or WMS, and take a look at that, ladies and gentlemen, Atari Games. Now, there is a long history of the Atari Games systems and how that all came to be. And basically, and I'm going to be looking all over because I got stuff all over all my monitors here. 1978, Warner acquired Atari from Nolan Bushnell. You guys all probably know that story. That's nothing new. 1984, they kept the Atari Coin-Op division and then split off the rest of the company over to Jack Tramiel, who, Commodore 64, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, 1985, Warner formed the Atari Games Corporation in partnership with Namco, who ended up with a controlling interest, about 60% or so after that. But then from about 1987 to 1994, Atari just kind of operated under its own auspices. They operated independently as part of the Namco company, basically. 1996, Time Warner said enough of this. Namco, all that stuff was not working out, so they sold Atari to WMS. Now, who is WMS? They are Williams Manufacturing Company. Now, this is the company, Williams Pinball. You guys know I'm a big fan of them. They also ended up buying Bally and Midway at different points, and we'll get to that in just a second. But they spun the Atari Games division off into their Midway operations later on. Now, you see, there's this whole article. I've been going down Wikipedia rabbit holes all day long, so I'm going to get lost in all this. I'll have the link to all these articles down in the description of this video so you guys can do your own research. Here's Williams Interactive. Here's where they were they were acquired by Scientific Games in 2013. That didn't really matter because 1998 they spun Atari Games off into Midway, and then in 2003 Midway Games closed. Okay, so all right, big deal. How did Atari Games end up back with Warner Brothers? Well, 2009, Midway sold along with all of its assets, and we're going to get into some of the games and stuff here in just a second, but they sold everything back to Warner Brothers under the Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment Group, WBIE. Now, they later rebranded in 2021 or there so about into Warner Brother Games, and that's who they operate today. So again, just a ton of mergers and acquisitions that get us to the point where now essentially the Warner Brothers Games division could be bought by Atari back again, and then they could reacquire all of their original assets. So they could bring everything back under one umbrella. Not to mention the fact that if they had enough money or enough capital or enough investment, they could get a hold of the Midway stuff, the Bally stuff, Williams. There are a ton of things that they could grab a hold of. So let's take a look real quick at just some of the games that they could get. So, of course, Gauntlet, like I put up on the thumbnail for this video. Joust, Mortal Kombat is available. NBA Jam could be a part of this deal. Paperboy, Rampage, Robotron 2024, Spy Hunter, Area 51, Cruisin', Defender, Dragon's Lair, and a ton more. That's just what I put up on that little asset here. If we, let me go get, here's some list of the games. So, right here, we've got the list of Warner Brothers games. Take a look at this. Matrix, Justice League, Looney Tunes, Speed Racer. They've got all kinds of Fear. I remember Fear. That was such a fun game. Look at all. It's just an incredibly long list. Lego Rock Band, Seen It, that board game that became a video game. Batman, Brave and the Bold, the video game. Look at all. Lord of the Rings. Some Sesame Street stuff, some more Lego stuff. Of course, Lego games are super, super popular. Of course, Mortal Kombat, the arcade collection, that's pretty cool. We know the Mortal Kombat Legacy collection is going to be coming out, I think, tomorrow, I believe, right? The 30th or the 31st. So if you're watching this bit by bit on drop day, you'll know that's coming up either tomorrow or the next day. Just all these different, like, look at this. This is crazy. Now, that's just their games. Let's look here at the Midway game list. So, Seawolf, Amazing Maze, Boot Hill, Checkmate, Desert Gun, Guided Missile. These are their original games. Clowns, Shuffleboards, Four Player Bowling Alley, Space Invaders 2, Wizard of War. Oh, such a good game. Love Wizard of War. That thing was awesome. Let's see. Yeah, there's some images for that. What else we got? Kick, that was really cool. Omega Race, loved that game. Solar Fox. Tron. Tron could end up a part of the Atari Corporation, ladies and gentlemen. Satan's Hollow, Spy Hunter, Discs of Tron. Just crazy. I can't even name all of them. Look at this list. Rampage is there, like we already talked about. Arch Rivals. Look at this. And this is all original stuff. NBA Jam, there's the Mortal Kombat stuff that we know and love. Cruisin'. Oh my goodness, I'm just running out of breath. Let's go all the way down because I think there was there was like an arcade list down here also. Good. I'm just going to skip. I can't even get there. Look at the arcade list under Midway. Asteroid, Astron Belt, Bank Panic, Bump and Jump, Flicky, Galaxian. Oh, Galaga. Galaga could end up under Atari. You do not know how happy that would make me. Miss Pac-Man is there. Pac-Man, of course. Pac-Land Racer. Rally X. Space Invaders could end up under Atari. I know this is all supposition. You guys are yelling at the screen probably right now. There's no way Atari can do that. You might be right. I have no idea, honestly, if they could pull this off or not, but I'm just super excited if they could. Let's go over to whose list was this? This is Cinematronics. I pulled this one up because Cinematronics, as you guys know, is one of my favorites of all time. They did Dragon's Lair, of course. Here's some of their laser game stuff. ZZYXX was one of their first games out there. Then they partnered with Don Bluth. Space Ace, of course. Dragon's Lair 2. I mean, yeah, they could do a lot. Whew. Okay, that was my first attempt at a deep dive kind of reporting news article story for Bit by Bit. I'd love for you guys to let me know what you thought. Thank you so much for sticking around here to the end, and we'll catch you next time here on Gen X Grown Up and Bit by Bit. Bye-bye. That's going to do it for the news making headlines in the gaming world right now. I am George, and if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button, and I'll keep on bringing you the news bit by bit.